Did you know that 1 in 4 Americans have an unfavorable opinion between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton? I'm Hannah Getz, and coming up next on WVU News, I'll tell you some ways that you can get involved in the race.
I'm Aaliyah Brown, and coming up on WVU News, I'll tell you how one country music singer is giving back to his community.
Thousands of miners across West Virginia have been laid off in recent years. I'm Taylor Deere, and straight ahead, I'll tell you how a decision by Congress may put more miners in an even bigger financial hole. Our Emmy Award-winning WVU News starts now.
As the presidential race heats up, some West Virginians are giving the polls a cold shoulder. I'm Hannah Getz.
And I'm Taylor Deere. Over 1,200 West Virginia households were affected by devastating floods this summer. Now celebrities are using their fame to help rebuild West Virginia communities.
These stories and more on WVU News, an Emmy Award-winning newscast produced by television journalism students right here at West Virginia University. Every day, over 120,000 U.S. coal miners risk their lives to provide essential energy to the entire country.
That's right, Hannah, and with more and more coal companies going bankrupt, there's a new danger for miners, losing their benefits. I visited the United Mine Workers of America to learn about a bill that could prevent financial crisis.
Over 1,900 West Virginia coal miners may lose their health care and retirement pensions. West Virginia Senators Shelley Moore Capito and Joe Manchin are two of the lead sponsors of the Miners Protection Act, a bill designed to provide relief to these miners that won't cost taxpayers a cent. West Virginia Delegate Mike Caputo says Congress owes it to these miners to pass this bill.
These coal miners gave their life to energize this country. They were promised cradle-to-grave health care by our government in 1946. And they need to keep that promise.
For decades, these men went to work knowing they may contract chronic and fatal conditions like black lung, even risking life-threatening injuries. The United Mine Workers of America are doing all they can to ensure that the 11,000 remaining West Virginia coal miners who have spent decades powering America will continue to get the health care and retirement pensions that they so desperately need. On September 8th, over 10,000 people went to Washington, D.C. to rally for the Miners Protection Act to be passed.
Someone once told me, he said, "You would be crazy to go to D.C. and get arrested." I said, "No, I would be crazy to go to D.C. and not be arrested, because this is for my family. This is for all the retirees."
After 2 open heart surgeries, Merriman says unless the bill is passed, he won't have the money to pay for his medical bills or his wife's.
I don't mean to sound cold, or I don't mean to sound harsh here, but people will just die because they won't have money to get the medications they need to sustain life.
The Miners Protection Act passed through the Senate Financial Committee on an 18-8 vote.
The bill now moves to the Senate floor, where it will need 60 votes to pass. If it is not passed, then 1,600 coal miners could lose their health care by the end of this year.
Taylor, while some West Virginians may lose their benefits, others lost everything when historic floods hit southern West Virginia in June.
That's right, Hannah. Recently, WVU alumni Ken Kendrick met his goal to raise $1 million for flood victims. But he isn't the only one dedicated to helping these families rebuild. Aaliyah Brown joins us now from Social Square with the latest in social media and pop culture news to tell us more.
Thanks, Hannah and Taylor. After historic flooding in southern West Virginia, a few celebrities took the country roads home, and they used social media to show the devastation and ask for help. Country singer Brad Paisley's second stop on his Country Nation tour was right here at West Virginia University. Paisley's last visit to his home state was earlier this summer in June, after devastating floods took out 1,200 homes in southern West Virginia.
When you leave this state and become successful, and then there's an event like that happens, it's really on somebody like me and Jennifer Garner and people like us to raise awareness.
Brad Paisley isn't the only one donating to flood victims in southern West Virginia. The WVU Foundation had more than 1,200 donors that stepped up and raised over $300,000.
So I tried to do what I could, and I know a lot of other people are too, and I think they're coming back. I think it's inspiring what's happening.
And many WVU students are grateful that stars like Paisley have brought awareness to floods in West Virginia.
Yeah, I think he's doing an awesome job. As a native of West Virginia, it's important that celebrities come back. So we had not only Brad Paisley, we had Jennifer Garner.
With Paisley's GoFundMe account coupled with his social media following, more than $700,000 has been raised for the flood victims. WVU Center for Service and Learning is still collecting monetary donations through their Dollars for Disaster program. To donate, you can visit the website below. Hannah and Taylor, back to you.
Thanks, Aaliyah. While some are using social media to promote flood relief, others are using it to talk politics.
But did you know, Taylor, that less than 30% of eligible voters voted in this year's primary election? I visited the ribbon-cutting ceremony for Monongalia County's Democratic headquarters to find out why it's so important to be involved.
Under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The 2016 presidential election is quickly approaching, and statistics show that in the 2012 election, West Virginia had the lowest turnout rate of any state. Monongalia County Commissioner Tom Bloom says that he can't encourage people enough to cast their ballot.
You have to get out and vote. You have to express your views, or the other people will be able to tell you what's going to happen.
So what's the main reason for events like this? To promote the candidate and make the community realize that their vote does count. In the 2012 elections, only 57% of Americans made it out to vote. The past 4 elections, West Virginia's overall vote has gone towards the Republican Party. But this year, voters are having a hard time picking between the top 2 candidates. In fact, 1 in 4 Americans have an unfavorable opinion between both Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton.
Trump is a known evil. Meanwhile, Hillary has gone back and forth on a lot of issues.
I think we've got our priorities a little mixed up in this country.
I'm not voting. Oh, I'm voting for Hillary Clinton. I'm actually a supporter.
I'd say overall concern for America probably lies with Donald Trump.
But no matter who you vote for, officials say the most important thing is to make your voice heard.
There's currently no Republican headquarters in Monongalia County. To find out where you can vote this November, you can visit the website at the bottom of your screen.
Well, Hannah, one of the many hot topics of this election is the price of a college education.
That's right, Taylor, but one college is taking measures to make their degrees more affordable. Reporter Nate Temple joins us now in the studio with more information. Nate.
Thanks, Hannah and Taylor. There are around 400 students at the WVU College of Law, but less than a quarter of them are from outside West Virginia. But now, the WVU College of Law is offering in-state tuition to out-of-state students if they meet certain requirements. I learned more about the new loyalty tuition program at the university. On September 15th, the College of Law announced that out-of-state students will pay in-state tuition if they obtained a bachelor's, master's, or doctorate degree from an accredited West Virginia college or university beginning next fall. Greg Bowman, the dean of the college, devised the program to distinguish itself from the rest.
We provide a practical, experiential learning opportunity for our students. We do a very good job of training our students in the doctrine and theory of law, but also in how to practice law. And we have 9 clinics at the law school, 9 clinics, and we have 80 students in those clinics, and they serve real clients throughout West Virginia with real problems.
Currently, out-of-state students pay almost $40,000 per year, but now they will only pay about $21,000 a year. That saves them a minimum of $16,000 a year. 23% of the College of Law students this fall are from out of state. So with the new loyalty tuition program, they're going to hope to see more out-of-state students come up through these stairs. WVU law student Andrew Means really likes the direction the college is heading. However, despite the ample optimism, he said that there could be a drawback.
I'm sure there could in a sense. I mean, again, more lawyers coming into the state in an already crowded legal market would probably hurt chances of law students coming out in future years.
Enrollment fell 27% since 2011. This program can save a student $50,000 over 3 years. The WVU College of Law was also one of 20 schools to receive Best Value by the National Jurist and Pre-Law magazine. Hannah and Taylor, back to you.
Thanks, Nate. For many students, they work hard and play hard.
And Taylor, one mobile game that's meant to get you outside to exercise can actually be dangerous. Pokemon Go quickly became a worldwide phenomenon upon release last July. The mobile app allows users to catch virtual Pokemon as they walk. The game is meant to get players moving, but this game has led some players into danger. Last week, a man was mugged while live streaming his search in Central Park in New York City. Playing this game has led to several robberies and accidents, including more than 100 road accidents. Police have released a list of tips to stay safe while playing Pokemon Go, which includes staying aware of your surroundings and always playing in pairs.
While some players are searching for Pokemon, some WVU athletes are looking to win an NCAA trophy.
Sports reporter Jonah Markham tells us how one team overcame adversity on their journey to the top.
I'm Jonah Markham, and straight ahead on WVU News, I'll tell you which WVU team ranked #1 in the nation.
Ready to go?
Sometimes the most important lessons are learned outside the classroom.
Are we going the right way?
When you chase the unknown, take a risk, and push beyond your boundaries. That's when you discover who you really are. Every journey starts with a first. Let's go.
After 21 years, the WVU women's soccer team finally reached the #1 spot in the nation.
That's right, Hannah, but the Mountaineers have a larger goal in mind. Sports reporter Nikki Kay is here to tell us how the team overcame obstacles to get where they are now. Nikki?
Thanks, Hannah and Taylor. After a 6-0-3 start, the Mountaineers reached a ranking they could only dream of. The WVU women's soccer team achieved the first #1 ranking in program history, but that's not enough for them. Reporter Jonah Markham found out how the team is reaching their goals one game at a time.
For the first time in its 21-year program, the WVU women's soccer team ranked #1 in the nation, beating ranked teams such as Duke and Ohio State. Head coach Nikki Brown is confident, despite the team's minor setbacks.
They don't bend with adversity, and we've had a lot. We don't have Keisha Nash in the beginning of the season. We've had a little bit of nicks here and there, and people are just rising to the occasion. So I like that grit about us. I like that focus about us.
After the first few exhibition match ties of the season, the reigning Big 12 champions held on to their title for 7 consecutive games. Even though the WVU women's soccer team have won the previous 4 Big 12 titles and have qualified for the NCAA tournament in the past 16 seasons, the WVU women's soccer team have never won the NCAA trophy. Senior captain Kadisha Buchanan had a busy summer, winning a bronze medal on Canada's soccer team in Rio. Winning may be her endgame, but she isn't ready for the team to get ahead of themselves just yet.
You got to take a couple moments just to reflect how well this team is doing. But then again, it quickly went back to reality. That's only just the beginning of the season, and we just got to fight it out to the end. It still doesn't mean nothing until we finish #1 at the end of the season.
The Mountaineers are taking it game by game, but they haven't forgotten about the most important thing, winning the NCAA division title. Jonah Markham, WVU Sports, Morgantown.
The women's soccer team had their streak snapped by Georgetown, losing 1-0 in double overtime. But that turned around for a 4-1 victory over Richmond. Hannah and Taylor, back to you.
Thanks, Nikki. While the soccer team fights for their way back to the top, WVU welcomed former sports legends back for a Hall of Fame induction.
The WVU Sports Hall of Fame welcomed Grant Wiley earlier this month. Wiley became WVU's all-time leading tackler in 2003, and in 2004 he signed a free agent contract with the Minnesota Vikings. However, a shoulder injury ended his NFL career just over a year later. The WVU Hall of Fame welcomed Joby Foley, David Johnson, Damian Owens, Don Vincent, Charity Washira, and Donnie Young at the ceremony.
Congratulations to all of the new inductees. Well, that's going to do it for this week's edition of WVU News. You can visit us online on our website.
You can also watch any of our shows on YouTube and follow us and our reporters on Twitter. I'm Taylor Deere.
And I'm Hannah Getz. Thanks for watching WVU News. We'll see you next time.